Very good morning to all of you. Welcome to online classes. And in today's English class, I will be discussing about composition. What is composition? Its definition, its meaning, and moreover, how to write compositions without any errors, or how to write it effectively. So before that, I want you to know what is basically composition. How many marks allotted for composition? So we have allotted 20 marks for composition. We used to write composition for 25 marks from class 9th and 10th. From 2018, we have reduced it because we introduced two other topics. The first composition is descriptive, narrative, then comes argumentative, then comes picture composition. There are varieties of compositions. For your kind information, there are about 21 types of compositions. Before we get into the types of composition, let's all understand what exactly is composition. Composition is a piece of writing. It is a set of ideas. It is a set of our expressions, our opinions. It's a set of our arguments. So we put them in an order, in a meaningful way. That is composition. But what is more important is how to write composition effectively. Anyway, in this class, let me take you through the meaning, kinds of compositions, and what are the guidelines to write composition. In case, if it is to be understood for 10th state, simple, you call it paragraph writing. Rules and regulations remain the same, but marks distribution differs. So, you don't have to worry about it. Class 8, 9 and 10 ICSE have the same guidelines, same marks allotment to write the compositions effectively. Here we go. First, let's discuss the meaning of composition. According to the Oxford Dictionary, the definition of composition is composition as the way something whole or a mixture is made up. The definition itself is confusing. Look at that. The way something whole or a mixture is made up. Generally, we ask you to develop your ideas on a theme. We will give you an idea, fundamental idea. We will give you a theme. We want you to argue on some topic. So giving fundamental idea or a theme is our duty. Then what is your duty? To develop your ideas, to develop your opinions, develop your arguments based on the theme that we provide. That is what exactly Oxford Dictionary defines. And look at the second idea about the meaning of composition. Composition takes several ideas and puts them in an order so readers can understand an idea or argument. You have so many ideas, you have so many thoughts, but you have to put them accordingly. So that is called composition. Guys, what matters the most here is how many words should be covered. There are, for example, when you go for UPSC examination, Union Public Service Commission examination, you have to write more than 1,000 words essays. When it comes to class 8, 9, 10, you have essays to be written between 300 to 350. What if you start writing for pages together? Then that's not called composition. That is called a novel. That is called short stories. No, it is called composition. You have word limit, you have time limit, but how to write a composition within the time span effectively is a challenge ahead of all of you. Let's see what types of compositions are there. The first one is argumentative composition. See, look at the meaning, the word argumentative. We will give you some topics, and the topics are basically argumentative in nature. What do you mean argumentative? you have to discuss either for the topic or against the topic. For example, is democratic form of government meritorious or not? So you have to now take up either it is good or bad. What kind of school of education is more popular? Hostel type of education or day scholar education? You have to take one stand. What type of education? It is only boys or single sex education or co-education. So topics will be like this. You have to choose one side. If you take both, then you're going to lose marks. So that you should keep in mind. And throughout your essay, from the beginning till the end, you should either stand for the topic or against the topic. All your points either should be for the topic or against the topic. Remember guys, you have to discuss minimum of 5 to 6 points with explanation, arguing, yes, I stand for the topic. Yes, I say co-education is the best education system. Yes, I say, I prove that democratic type of government is good. You have to give reasons. And one of the major mistakes that you guys do it here, you write the points in order 1, 2, 3, 4. Have you ever seen a teacher in English asking you to write answers in points? If it is social science, I accept it. But don't ever write your compositions or essays or paragraphs in points. 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't look nice. So that is called argumentative. Remember, you should stand either for or against. If you stand for both, then the nature of the composition differs. Then the question should be changed. And the question says, give your views for as well as against. Don't change the nature of the question, because what the evaluator wants is either for or against. The second one is descriptive. Look at that word. I always want, dear students, you guys should understand what exactly descriptive is in the word itself. Look at that, descriptive. Descriptive is nothing but describing, explaining. What do you mean by descriptive essays then? I will give you an incident. I'll give you an event. I may ask you to describe your experiences, your emotions or feelings, or any incident that had happened last year, maybe in your life maybe, or maybe in your family. So an event should be described, an event should be explained. That's called descriptive essay or descriptive composition. Remember, most of the descriptive essays should be written in past tense, because you're describing something which is already over. Most of the times, the events which is already over. So that is how descriptive essays to be taken care. Remember, simple past is always preferred. Simple past is always chosen over any other tenses when we take up descriptive essay. Look at the next one, picture composition. It's very simple that you've been practicing maybe from class 1, I think. We'll give you one picture in the composition that you have to describe. But one strict instruction that probably you can definitely take care of it. Guys, when you select picture composition to write, be careful, because you have to cover every detail given in the picture. You can write a story on the picture. You can write a document on that. You can write an account of it. You can describe it. You can do, of course, anything. But remember, don't forget to cover all the points, all the details that you can see on, in the picture. So then comes narrative composition. It's a narration. Narration is nothing but maybe a story. The story can be imaginative, or the story might have already taken place. The incident might have been completely happened in your life, you are going to narrate. And remember, narrative essays will always happen, guys, in the first person, with the help of I and we, he and she, it, they. Do not use you, that is second person. These are the clues that you should maintain. And remember, whichever the composition you take up, whether narrative, descriptive, argumentative, please use the conjunctions like where, when, which, what, that, because, as well as. So these conjunctions, neither, nor, either, or, will surely help you to develop the ideas of your composition in a very effective manner. Then comes story writing. I don't have to tell you, story writing, we give you the characters sometimes. Imagine you're Ram, the CEO of dash and dash company. Unfortunately, the company is now losing all its wealth. What could you do if you were Mr. Ram? Right? So now you have to write a story imagining that you are. Write a story where a policeman and a dog play an important role. Now, you should write the story. Sometimes students behave very smartly. You know how? They behave so smartly that as if the evaluators do not know the stories that you might have stolen, that you might have taken from others. Please don't do that. The story should be of your own. Sometimes you take stories from movies. You take some ideas from poems. You take some ideas from newspapers. Remember, guys, the story should be of your own. What is the use? You read in a novel, you read in a short story, and you read or you watch in a movie and you simply copy that in your story just to fill up. Do you think we don't read? We have read. We have read many, more than you guys, definitely. Most of the English teachers do that. So please be careful while stealing ideas. Next one. Imaginative essay. Look at the word itself, imaginative. You have to assume. You have to imagine. Sir, what can we imagine? For example, if you were the Prime Minister, what could be the developmental programs that you would execute? See, imaginative. You have to now imagine yourself as the Prime Minister, as the President. Imagine you're the schoolboy. Imagine. You have to imagine, you have to create the story by imagining, and you have to write it. So, some other details of each composition will be definitely discussed in the next class, guys. So, today you got to know what is composition, its meaning, and what are the compositions, and how to go about writing these compositions. So with that, guys, I complete the first part of composition. Thank you very much. And today, most importantly, I'm going to discuss how we write compositions. Everybody writes composition, everybody writes paragraphs, but how to write compositions effectively and error-free, that is more important than understanding what is composition and what are the kinds of composition. Take my key advice today. Those who are studying in class 8, make it a point. Get used to your typo. Typo in the sense, your type of composition. I like every composition, every type of composition. But even today, if you ask me, so you write one composition and my choice is always descriptive. Because I love describing. And my second preference is given to imaginative. Because I love to imagine. I love to imagine the world that I would want to be. I love to imagine the country that I want to be in. I want to imagine the way the education system that I want to be. See, this is my priority. What is my sincere advice to all of you, those who are in class 10 and 9 and 8, So make sure you choose your typo, means your choice, your kind. Most of the students do that because they get used to their type of composition. Once you get used to it, you don't make mistakes in tenses. That is the main element of every composition. Those who have a good command over tense can write any type of composition, but the skills and how to hold the reader's breath, that makes a lot of difference. And remember, another golden rule to write compositions effectively is to read, read, read. And don't steal ideas. Just read. So then what is the use of reading and when we don't? See, don't always steal ideas, but borrow the style, borrow the pattern, borrow the words, borrow the idioms, borrow the phrases, borrow the sentences. That is the reason why you have to read. So, what if I have the same ideas and he has got the same? Of course, ideas are the same, but the way you express should be different. That is where your compositions make difference with others. So please be careful. And my guidelines to the compositions will surely help you to score above 16 or above 17 out of 20. Those who can score above 15, trust me, can score above 70 out of 80 in English 1. So, please be careful. Here we go with the first rule. I've seen, because I've been a part of evaluation of ICSE board for the last 11 years. Sometimes the students write from paragraph 1, that is first line, till the last line of third page. There is no gap at all. They don't know the paragraph skills at all. And by the way, what do you mean by paragraph principles? Simple. Following intro, development and conclusion. It's not any Oxford theory. It is very simple to divide your essay, your composition into 3 parts. One is intro, introduction. Then comes development, what you are supposed to write, what you are supposed to develop your ideas on the topic. Then comes your conclusion. Remember, if you write your essay or composition in 1 paragraph, you are going to lose nearly about 5 marks. Please keep that in mind. I'm serious about it. So, you be. Sir, why do we have to leave paragraph and write? Why do we have to give a line gap and write? Because ideas should be different, guys. Introduction idea is totally different from developmental idea. So, please keep this in mind. And remember, you have to give a line gap after every paragraph. If you don't do it, simple, you are going to lose marks under major error. We have divided errors into major error and minor error. If it is a major error, it will also affect on your expression. So, follow certain rules and regulations. When you are following this, remember, you don't have to have perfect knowledge about words, sentences. It's common sense. Common sense is totally different from your command over language, your command over your expression. It has got nothing to do with these simple rules. Follow it. The second one, somehow some students are used to write not compositions, write essays of 1,000 words, 1,500 words. I want to share this experience. It happened in 2015. When I was evaluating, I got one essay which was about 800 plus words. I was really happy because 800 words, and I corrected. Unfortunately, the child left 2 questions of 40 marks unattempted. The reason, the child focused more and more on writing and developing composition, but finally the child forgot to attempt last 2 questions. Now tell me, guys, what is more important? To go by the rules, to limit yourself with the rules and regulations, or expanding and expanding What is the use? Look at the word limit. Maybe 300, maybe 350. Standard other instruction clearly says don't cross 350 words. Okay, maximum 20, 370, maximum 400 words. Enough, guys. Conclude it. If you don't conclude, then definitely it leads to all these disasters. Guys, at one point of time when you are writing the examination, test, preparatory, midterm, whatever, if just one mistake, maybe time management, or maybe one wrong question attempting, or maybe leaving one main, this will definitely lead to psychological disasters. If you come to know that you have done something wrong, that one wrong thought can destroy the whole focus on your examination. Be careful. My third rule for composition. Sometimes some students find it very difficult to develop ideas. And some students have this difficulty. They have a lot of ideas, but they do not know what to write, what to skip. And some students are there. They want to convey everything and anything within 500 words. There are many types of students. But remember, I want all of you to fall under this simple category. What is that? Write what is expected. Then how to develop that? How to get what to write, what is expected? Simple. Anyway, you have got 15 minutes reading time. So in that reading time, I want you to spend 1 or 2 minutes time on mind mapping. What do you mean by mind mapping? Simple. Just generate ideas that what you want to discuss. Flowchart, I think, will be maybe 8 points, maybe 6 points. Just make a mind map. You should know what to write. If you know what to write, I'm sure you can definitely have good command over time management. At the same time, your writing will be really fast because you know what to write. You know where to stop. Imagine if you do not know where to go when you have boarded a train to Delhi. You reach Delhi, but after Delhi, where? You should have the destination. So the flowchart helps you to know the destination. Where to start, where to develop, and where to end it. Simple. Look at my other rule. Don't begin the sentences with and, but, so, because. We have a lot of argument over this kind of doubt. Sir, why? When the writers, when the novelists, when the blogists, or when the columnists, when they can begin the sentences with and, but, so, because, why can't we? Very simple, guys. When you begin your sentences with these, remember, they're not joining the sentences. Remember, these are all conjunctions. These conjunctions should club what? 2 ideas, 2 simple sentences, 2 phrases. That is the reason why I advise you not to begin any sentence with these. My next rule is, I always tell you guys, first 175 words of 350 words of your composition are golden words. Don't ask me why exactly you call them golden words, because I want you to focus on first 200 words or 175 words carefully, checking spellings, checking expressions, checking capital letters usage, and followed by, very importantly, usage of articles, usage of prepositions, usage of conjunctions. In case, if you find 1 or 2 errors, guys, don't worry. Take pencil and draw a line. Sometimes, what do? We take pen with whatever we were writing and we scratch and we put into, and finally we take out the whole paragraph, and that looks really horrible. In case, if you want to really cancel a sentence, just 1 line in pencil. So please be careful with this kind of presentation. Why I call presentation is very important, because first impression is the best impression. I repeat, first impression is the best impression. What, sir, I have written everything without fault, but I have, say, about 20 scratches and cancellations. Then imagine how dirty your essay looks like. So, presentation is more important than your creative ideas. Please give importance to both, but more importance, in my opinion, should go to maintaining discipline. My next important rule that you have to follow and you have to bear in mind throughout your life, whenever you take up composition, is not to steal ideas, not to take away somebody's ideas, not to mock any theme, not to steal characters from the stories, from the movies, from the serials, from the TV shows that you have watched. Please be careful, because they are not yours, they are somebody else's. It is their creativity. It is so difficult for me to evaluate somebody's ideas written by you. It should be your own ideas. It should be your own composition. It should be your own story. It should be your own character's creation. So remember, even if it is simple, if it is your own, we, the evaluators, appreciate you the best and the most. So, please be careful while writing. That's the reason. Focus more on developing ideas in the first 15 minutes reading time. Look at that. Now, the next point. You can strengthen your viewpoints with facts. Suppose if you're writing compositions, especially descriptive compositions, imaginative, please go by the facts. Please go by figures of speech. Right? And please go by sayings. In case if you're writing about how to build personality development, please use Swami Vivekananda's quotes. Definitely you can use. Sound mind creates sound body. The secret behind sound mind is always sound body. Right? So if you want, you can use these quotes. Remember, if you know who said that. Otherwise, don't use. It is really, really embarrassing when you use somebody else's quote and you write your name. And some essays and some students, they write only the sayings. Mark Zuckerberg said this. Nelson Mandela said this. John Milton said this. Then what have you said? Where is your creativity? So, please remember, here and there, if the essay requires, then please adopt. Otherwise, you don't have to even touch. When it comes to argumentative essay, sometimes you know what happens. The students take up only 2 points and explain the whole 2 points, till they finish the essay. I have to consider only 2 points. Explanation is given, definitely, that's truly fine. But what is the use? You have covered only 2 points. No, it should not happen. Minimum of 5 to 6 points should be covered with explanation, adequate explanation. Give examples, but make sure examples don't become your essays. Right? So please be careful. Here we go with the next rule. The events must be in chronological order. Quotes, dialogues, and anecdotes can be used in the essay. These essays are normally written in first. Now, I and we person. Intro should be impressive and arresting, and conclusion should be definite. What do you mean by chronological order? For example, when I ask you to write about Indian freedom movement, will you write, we got independence in 1947, and you take 1857, we began our first war. What are you talking about? I want you to tell me, when did we start unitedly fighting against British? 1857. Then tell me what happened, 1905. Then 1885. What happened? Indian National Congress was established. Then what happened in the year of 1905? Bengal division happened. Then 1919, what happened? So these events should be in chronological order. You want to tell me about your success story, how you got to this position. You are now the CEO of Infosys. What will you tell us? First, give us the intro, where you were, what happened in, school education. Then how struggles made you a strong man in college education. Then that is how chronology should go, order. The next, in descriptive essays, you must include particular features. What are they? I want you to describe your morning walk. Don't write always, I went there, I came here, I had a nice walk, it was a pleasant air. That, no. Along with that, you should also write about the sounds you heard. Right? That's one thing. Then followed by what you saw around should be written. Who you spoke to should be written. Right? So include all. Don't just write, don't just stick to only one manner. It's not always mannerism. It should cover, for example, posture, maybe speech, maybe hobbies, maybe reputation, maybe interests. Mannerisms, all these should be included when you take up descriptive essays. Remember? The last one, precise language, figurative language, and careful organization. I always advise my children, don't go for lengthy sentence formation. Go for simple sentence formation. Use of what, when, where, neither nor, either or, not only but also. These type of conjunctions should be used to develop essays creatively. And organize, guys. Intro, development, and conclusion. Then comes, don't use too many complex words. Some students are there. They write some words, which they do not. For example, ecstatic, being happy. Those who know ecstatic, please write. If you do not know, please don't write it. Don't write complex words. The reason is very simple. Spellings may go wrong. One spelling loses half a mark. Please don't invite danger. Please be careful. Next, select the topic when you have adequate information. Some students want to experiment. Sir, I want to take up a topic which is really difficult, which is really challenging. Please don't do that. Choose a topic which you can easily narrate, on which you can have lot of information at once. And you don't have to challenge anybody. What do you want, guys? Ultimately, marks. So you want to experiment on your writing? Write separately. When you are free, write it and give it to us. We will evaluate and give it to you. So examination is not experimentation. Keep this idea in mind. And remember, when I say short essays, if you write one paragraph, 2 paragraphs, we'll simply consider as short essays and we just give 5 marks. So keep all these ideas, rules and regulations in mind to write essays effectively and without any errors. Guys, if there are any suggestions, if there are any opinions, please come back to me and I will surely help you out. Thank you for your patience listening.